So do you have an intention for the conversation? I know I literally just said to you, I was on the fence about whether we create a container for this, but Ayman and I just spent the last 10 minutes talking about how we don't want this to feel like two blokes sitting across a table performing therapy on one another. We don't want it to feel like we're two blokes just bitching and moaning about how hard the world is from our very, insulated and comfortable perspective. But like I said to you, for me, it's just about having an honest and vulnerable conversation about the things that we're struggling with, and hopefully using that to inspire some of the changes that we're willing to see. So a long-winded way of saying, do you have a frame or a container that you're hoping to create for this conversation? Because I think for this particular one, it's important. Like our first one we did, I was checking the date, it was the 22nd of April, 2024. That was our last conversation, and we'll get into some of the changes that you've been able to, create in your life. But since then, where are we at? What's a container that you're creating for yourself personally in this conversation?
In my head, leading up to this, I was telling myself the same thing. I don't want to use this as an excuse to complain about things that are not wrong in my life, but things in my life that I could find excuses for. So I don't want it to be a space for that. I was also thinking about how I want this to be somewhat of like where things will open up in conversation and things will probably come to light that I might be unaware of in my life and also in yours as my best mate. So if there's two things I get out of this, one is I hope that I become more aware of things in my life where I can take actionable change on. And the second part is not to inspire me, because it sounds a bit wanky, but for me to just think of small things that I can do this afternoon as soon as we finish here that'll help me do more of what I want to do and be more of who I want to be. They're my two goals for this.
Beautiful. Let's set the table then.
Hell yeah.
Since our last conversation on podcast, 22nd of April, 2024.
It seems like it was a week ago, but it also seems like ages ago. I remember it was maybe like a month post ACL reconstruction, and I was down in the dumps like, fuck, the world hates me. I don't have a working knee. But it's like, it's cool. I reckon since then, I've been the most consistent I've ever been with my gym, my routine in the gym and my rehab, and also my fitness, which is a great blessing because I feel like I'm probably in a position where I feel the most athletic I've ever felt. And I thank my ACL tear, MCL tear, and meniscus tear for that, because in a way it was like it had to break me to make me. And that's something I'm like, people, I'm not going to say like I'm an inspiration, because I'm definitely not. I'm just a normal person. But people are like, oh my God, you tore your ACL, MCL, meniscus. How do you have confidence now? I'm like, are you kidding me? That was the best thing that's happened to me, because I can use that. And I'm like, I feel like a fucking robot right now, man. I feel so strong and so healthy. And I wouldn't have been aware of any imbalances in my body if that didn't happen. So I think last time maybe my head was a bit more like, I was upset in a way.
Yeah, you were a bit clouded.
Yeah.
You're
but
in it
now
now.
my thoughts are clearer, and I'm cool. I'm chilling.
This is a good thing to start on, because you mentioned that it's the most consistent you've been in the gym training.
Yeah.
Firstly, why is that important? And then secondly, what are some of the implications, or how does it affect you mentally if you're not? Because we've talked about this a lot.
Yeah.
And I think we're learning to be more honest with each other and ourselves about some of the reasons that we train.
Yeah.
But I'll leave it there. First question was, why is that important? And secondly, what's it like when you're not consistent?
I think those questions go hand in hand. It's important because a healthy body is a healthy mind. And that leads into the second question, right? I know that when I don't train maybe more than 2 or 3 days in a row, I'm like, oh, you slob. Like, what are you doing? Look at yourself in the mirror. And this is a fear of mine, like a genuine, it may sound shallow to others, but it doesn't matter to me because it's my fear, not theirs. One of the biggest fears in my life is being fat. And people might be like, oh, you're fat shaming, your body shaming, but it's my own fear. So mind your own fucking business. Because I look at my dad, and I know my dad tried his absolute hardest to be a good role model. Did it work? It's questionable, right? Big Daz. My dad's not the healthiest of fellas, and I look at him, I'm like, okay, unhealthy body, unhealthy mind, unhealthy habits.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's like healthy body, healthy mind, healthy habits. And it's a cycle that I want to break when I have kids, because I want my kids to look at me and be like, holy shit, man, my dad's like fucking Superman. He can run, he can jump, he can swim, he can do everything. And it's leading by example. And I think if I think of myself in the future, that's a goal of mine, to be Superman to my kids. And it starts in the gym, right? Looking after my own body, looking after the food I eat, the habits I have, and how I just present myself. And even though I don't have kids, I don't even have a partner, but if I can start now, I'm setting myself up for success.
Do you think it's common that a lot of 29-year-old males struggle with body image, like
I think
you
so.
and I do?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know if they probably have the deeper thoughts about it, because if you think of it like, maybe I'm just putting people in boxes. The average 29-year-old male is probably like, fuck, I just want to look like C-Bum and be Mr. Olympia and be able to lift heavy shit, which is cool. Don't get me wrong. I want to lift heavy shit. I can lift some heavy shit, but I also want to move. Like I don't want to be an athlete. I don't want to be a weightlifter. I want to be a jacklete. I want to be jacked, but an athlete, mix in one, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I think my body image comes into play. I want to have big muscles, but make sure my muscles are functional, not just there for show. Would you agree?
Yeah, of course. I think that's the gold standard. I had a coach frame it like this: you want to be as lean as possible and as strong as possible. The idea being that, excess mass might take away some of your athleticism, and just pursuing athleticism for the sake of athleticism, you're foregoing some of those ideas around how you present and how you look. So I think we're all trying to find that nice balance. I know for me it is, but I also know when I get in my head about my body, I often try and shift it towards what I can do. It's sort of a way that I can help myself not get really down in the dumps about it. You might wake up one morning and you feel a little bit soft or vanilla. Vanilla's for me is the thing that triggers me. It's that idea that I'm not this or I'm not that. I'm just a fucking vanilla pancake.
Everyday human being.
Yeah, man. And that's the thing that really gets to me now.
That's funny.
But yeah, I often, in those moments, because I'm not sophisticated enough to flip a switch and have this beautiful, outstanding, positive relationship with my body yet, but I can shift the focus onto what I can do. So if I'm feeling shit about myself, I will, I'll go to the gym and I'll have a good session and I'll go, fuck yeah. Like, I felt those physical sensations. It feels like I've worked hard, I've stressed myself, and, I was able to do X amount of reps on X amount of weight. So shifting from, how I look to how I'm performing has helped me with regards to body image. And as I said, I don't know if that is the healthiest way to look at it. I think ideally it is you sort of have both. You can appreciate and love your body no matter whether you wake up a little bit soft or vanilla-y. You can still go, hey man, like this is just ebbs and flows. And I think that's a reality. But yeah, I'm not there yet, man. I'm not there yet.
Do you think we'll ever be there though?
Yeah. I think I was saying it to you and Arjun the other day when we were at Cronulla in our Speedos. It's ebbs and flows, one day you feel great.
Yeah.
And then sure as hell the next day it's going to be low again. And I think that as 29-year-olds, maybe we're learning that life has inevitable ebbs and flows, and there's less focus on, achieving the Chris Bumstead physique, and more understanding that wisdom or maturity is going along and playing with the ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, enjoying it almost.
Yeah, well, doing your best to enjoying it. But
Taking it
even
as
if
it
you're not
comes.
enjoying it, it's like, it's just riding the waves,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah, taking it as it comes. And just like almost having it for what it is, right? There's going to be days where you can go to the gym and pump out an incredible session. And there's going to be days where 100 push-ups and 100 squats and doing your 100 is what gets you through the day, right?
And
And
dude, I often think like, when I focus on what I can do, how I look doesn't matter.
yeah,
Meaning, we're playing some tennis lately.
yeah,
I'm not like, okay, we took our shirts off the other day.
yeah,
At the start, I'm a little bit self-conscious,
yeah,
you know, but as we get into the flow of the game, it's more so about hitting a good forehand and a good backhand.
yeah,
And for me, it's a productive switch, because when you're playing good tennis and when you're lifting well in the gym, it's like, there isn't this, you're not putting any energy towards the fact that you're a bit soft around the midsection, right? You're just like, fuck yeah, man, I just nailed that set of squats.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's the same when you're playing football.
Yeah.
It's like when you get into the flow of doing the thing, it's these
everything else is irrelevant.
Yeah, it falls away. And I think
Yeah.
that's like, it's not just the gym. The gym has a great way of practicing that mindset.
Absolutely.
But it's the same in a podcast or in a conversation. It's like when I'm just doing the thing and when I'm enjoying the thing and when I'm in the flow of the thing, it's like I'm not so concerned about the pauses and I'm not as concerned about how it's going to be perceived.
Yeah.
I just get in the flow of doing the thing. And I know this is a bit of a tangent, and I think that the absence of thinking about the thing is also a problem. It's like a spectrum. It's like complete presence in the moment of doing the thing, but then, and this is the judgmental part of me, there's that thing where you've done the thing, but then, and I don't know if it's the case, it feels to me like young men particularly, like they don't have this capacity to self-reflect. And maybe that's me just being judgmental. And this is why I wanted to have this conversation, because it's like, hey, this is the way that I think about these things. I wonder if anyone else thinks about these things like you or I might.
Yeah.
So it's one thing to do the thing and be present and enjoy it, but it's another thing to then, subject yourself to a little bit of self-assessment and to, be critical about your actions and be critical about your words, because I think that intellectual part of being engaged in the moment is really important in order to improve. And that can become toxic as well and stop you from doing the thing and stop you from enjoying doing the thing. And that's not helpful. So it's this weird balancing act. And I'm shit at it, bro. I'm shit at it. I'm getting better at it. But it's fucking, it's ebbs and flows.
I think sometimes I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
But before I ask, I think that sometimes when we're doing things, let's say, for example, tennis, it's like, and you use the analogy like you're a bit self-conscious. One, I don't know why, because when we were playing tennis, someone drove past and screamed out, "Hey, sexy." I remember that
towards
like it was yesterday.
anyway.
I don't know who was it towards me or you. But anyway, I took that compliment for both of us. But it's also like, if we're with our shirts off and we're playing good tennis, physically we're feeling good. And it correlates to mental well-being as well. Because mentally I'm like, okay, I'm doing what I aim to do, which is hit a nice forehand or hit a nice backhand or get my first serve in. If you flip it and if you don't start with the mental side of it, the physical side of it, you think mentally I approach a tennis game like today's going to be the best tennis that I've played so far, then that also correlates. So I think for me, and I don't know if I can speak on behalf of you, but for me, they've worked off of each other. When we approach the courts, I'm like, today I'm going to be better than I was last week. Physically, I'm listening to my brain, which they're balance of each other. If I don't think like that, I just let the tennis do itself. And I'm like, oh, that was a really good forehand. And then my mental side's like, shit, you're playing some good tennis. So that they can be best friends. And then at times they can be like arch enemies because if they're working together, things are in flow, right? And I couldn't care less about what other people are thinking or saying. But if they're not in flow, fuck, like I don't know if I can speak on behalf of you, but in my head, I'm like, it's almost like I'm fighting with myself.
Yeah, of course.
I take my brain out of my body, look back at myself and be like, fucking go me. Like, you're an idiot. What are you doing? Why do you look like that? And I'm like, okay, I'm just trying my best over here. But yeah, the question that I had for you is, when you think about you being in the moment of something and then you step away from it, you might finish it. How are you reflecting? Are you thinking about every possible thing that happened? Are you thinking about every good thing, every bad thing, things you would have done differently? Like, what's the thought process?
To be honest with you, bro, it's exhausting.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's exhausting. Without sounding poor me, it is exhausting.
Let's just put this out here. We're not here to complain, right?
No,
we're not. So we're not here to complain.
I'm just here to be honest and hope that it resonates.
Yeah.
With someone.
Tell me why it's exhausting.
Constant. It's this constant. Computer program running in the back of my head that is self-analyzing everything.
Yeah.
And then you have an experience where someone points out to you that you might not have been self-analyzing appropriately, and then you self-analyze the fact that your self-analysis wasn't appropriate.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult, man. And I'm talking to a professional about a lot of these things. And I told my therapist about this moment where the stars aligned, and it felt like for the first time in a while, maybe in my life, where I had this complete clarity and where there was no program running in the background, no self-analysis, no self-inquiry. And as a tangent, I also think that's what makes me a good person to talk to, because I ask good questions.
Yeah.
Because I've been asking questions of myself for a fucking long time. And the questions have gotten more and more rigorous and intense. So this is why I figure, fuck man, let's start this podcast up again, because I've actually been practicing the skill of asking questions, since I was early teens, like when this whole thing started for me. So anyway, this moment that I was alluding to, it was in New Zealand, and I'd just gotten married to Hayley, and we stayed in this big Airbnb, and the family was there, and this was the day after we got married, so the family had gone. So it was just Hayley and I in this Airbnb. And I took this chair out and sat on the back porch, and the Airbnb was on this farmland. So it's basically like grass, rolling hills, just, like
gorgeous
stuff out of a postcard. And I'm sitting on the back porch, just looking out to the grass and the sunset, and I just start fucking crying, because in that moment there was no, am I meant to be here? Is this the right thing to be doing? Have I made the right decision? That interaction that I had earlier, did I say it? It was none of that. It was like this absolute stillness and peace. And it was fucking unreal. And it was so unreal that, like I said, I started crying, because I realized that this clarity that I had, I never have. It's because I have this program running in the back, which, like I said, I'm now taking steps to work through and understand. The point of all this is that sometimes that background noise is productive. Like I said, because I've asked myself a lot of questions, I'm good at asking questions. Because I'm in constant dialogue with myself, I can have a decent conversation with you and anyone on the street. Like, I think I have a talent for provoking a deeper conversation. Like, I'll fucking corner you at a party, and within 3 minutes you'll be open up to me, telling me about whatever. Like, I'm good at that because I've done it for years.
Yeah.
So it's benefited me immensely. And I also think that like in recent years, it's also like leaning into those conversations with you, which is why you're the person sitting across from me right now, because you're the person that I've opened up to more and more. And we've had these really good conversations about how we can better ourselves and what we're insecure about and the stuff that we struggle with on the day to day. And it's like, that's beneficial as well because it's deepening our relationship. So yeah, man, it's exhausting and it's not bad. It definitely has added to the constitution of who I am. And
I
at
was
the
going to
same
say
time,
that.
yeah.
I think that because I ask myself plenty of questions, I don't think I'm as critical on myself as you are of yourself. But in a way, being critical on yourself, for me, it's a great thing because you are like, in my life, Serge, you are the prime example of someone who cannot live with himself in a comfortable state. And I look up to that. I'm like, shit, Serge is always like, not what's next, because you get bored of what you're doing, but I've achieved this. I'm where I want to be with this. How can I challenge myself next? And that's where that stems from these questions, right? Where, okay, I handled this way. If I was to experience this again, would I handle it the same way? How can I challenge myself to be a better person and handle it in a different way if what I did wasn't the right thing? And it's funny you say that, like, because we've definitely, I mean, you've moved away pretty much almost fucking all over Australia with your wife. And I'm like, I've lost Serge again, but I'll see you like maybe 4 months down the track or talk on the phone 4 months down the track and it's like nothing's changed because you and I have this like deep fucking respect for each other that we know that on the other end, it's someone who's probably struggling in their life, but fucking grinding to be the best version of themselves. And the struggle and the grind go hand in hand because I think we purposely put ourselves, through shit to be better human beings. Yeah, I think something I definitely like struggle with sometimes. And for me, it's great because school holidays are a perfect time to see you more, right? But for me, something that I struggle with is I always think to myself, when I was younger, I had such a deep connection with like the boys around me, and I'm like, fuck, that's fading away. One, because life goes, right? You guys have partners, you guys have wives, Arjun, Arjun's got his fiance, Lucy, you've obviously got Haley. And I'm like, okay, I understand that they've got lives to live outside of Ayman. It's not that I feel sorry for myself because I don't have a wife. Sometimes I'm like, fuck, where is she? Is she like dead already? But that's a story for a different day. But I'm like, something that I struggle with is that I feel like sometimes that deep connection is fading away. But then a reality check is every time we have a conversation, every time I see you, it's like, not, hey, how you going? How's school? It's, what are you doing to better yourself in the last 2 months that I haven't seen you? Which for me, sometimes I think about, okay, how can I keep myself my own best friend almost because I'm losing that connection. But then I think of you, I think of Arjun, I'm like, they've got best mates in me, but also their partner, where it's like, is that connection with me from their point of view fading away as well? Whose responsibility is that to keep it intact? It's both of ours. Am I being a good friend? Am I reaching out enough? Am I seeing them enough? Am I talking to them enough? They're the questions in my head that I reflect on. And sometimes it eats away at me. And then I get this fucking sporadic moment of like, I'll message you and Arjun, be like, let's hang out tomorrow, be at Cronulla at 7 o'clock for a walk and a swim and a chat and a coffee.
Let's talk about what it means to be a good friend, because you touched on a lot of things that I'm thinking through as well. I think like, I really want to open myself up to be a good friend and to meet other people that I resonate with, which is why we're just sitting down having an honest chat. But what do you think constitutes, or how do you define what a good friend is?
That's a good question. It's a funny one because it sounds like such an easy question.
Well, I think it sounds obvious because when we were in high school and primary school, what a good friend was someone who just like hung out with you at lunch.
Yeah, exactly right. Someone
and then
in the
you
same
see him
classes.
on the weekends. Yeah. Like it's almost this thing where you don't have to put in any effort to be friends because you see each other every day, and because you don't have anything better to do on the weekends. You go
I think
hang
now
out.
it's like, well, now I think of it like I've definitely had mates in my life that have gone, and I definitely have mates in my life like you that I'm like, I need to hold on to them forever, because your core values align with my core values, and how you hold yourself aligns with how I want to hold myself. Like, I want to be a better person every single day. You want to be a better person every single day. A mate is someone that can push you, right? Or a good mate. There's probably best mates out there that are just comfortable just being with each other and going to the pub and having a drink and like just drinking piss every Friday night.
Can we pause on that point specifically? Rewind like 15 seconds and say what you said about pushing you.
A good mate is someone that will push you to be better every single day. Or
how do they do that? And I'll paint a picture really quickly to give you some more context. Playing tennis next to you with my shirt off pushes me to train harder in the gym.
I take that as a compliment.
It is a compliment, because I look at you and I feel a little bit insecure, which pushes me to train harder. So it's this weird relationship. And I think about this as well from a teaching perspective. Like, I love you. And I'm also a little bit scared of you. And I'm scared of you because I respect you. Just like you think about your students. They love you, but they're also a little bit scared of you. And that fear is not the right word. Scared's not the right word. But they're also like, they also know that their actions with you are under a bit of a microscope, and you sometimes can shine a mirror back on their insecurities and inadequacies and give them the space and opportunity to improve. So the tennis example is one where it's like, as I said, I love hanging out with you, man. I get so much from it. And it intimidates me a little bit taking my shirt off next to you, because I'm like, man, like, am I good enough? It brings up those questions in a productive way, because it makes me think, hey, how can I improve on that? Do you know what I mean?
100%, because I have the same thoughts, bro.
Exactly.
Like, I see Serge. You probably, if everyone could see my face, I was so confused just saying, because I have the exact same thoughts. I'm like, fuck, Serge is like this Greek god of fucking gymnast. Because that's so funny. I'm like in the same position, without sounding like I like boys, but I look at you with your shirt off, man. I'm like, fuck, like that's a good figure. And in the same way, I'm like, it's also an inspiration, because I know that has been crafted with fucking hard work, sweat, and honest tears, right? Like, looking yourself in the mirror and be like, is this what I want to look like right now? No. Do something about it.
And that's where I think, like, it's definitely a masculine quality to surround yourself with men who are better at you in an area of your life that you want to improve. I think men generally, we tend to grow through challenge.
But also, I feel like men who are insecure don't want to be around men who are better than them, because it eats away at them.
100%. Of
course. This alpha male who thinks that they are God's gift to the earth, when they look at men who might be doing better than them in an aspect of their life, they're like, nah.
There's that old saying where it's like, if you're the smartest guy in the room, that you need to find another room.
You're in the wrong room. Yeah.
But I think that's an aspect of like a healthy relationship, at least in my eyes. Like, when I think about a good friend, I think about someone that I love, and I think about someone where our values align, and I think about someone who pushes me just enough. Not too much, because then, like, fuck you and you're an asshole, right? Just enough to where you're like, bro, I know it's all love, it's all respect, man.
It's all part of it.
It's all part, like, this is why I think I have a really good relationship with my brother, because my brother thinks completely different to me. And it forces me to question my own way of being in a way that is mostly productive. You know, some days it's like, dude, like, fucking cut me some slack. But most days it's like, you know what? That is a perspective I normally wouldn't consider. And I love you for being honest and being who you are. because it inspires me to be more of who I can be.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I definitely like, it's funny because I think your relationship with your brother is similar, but also a little bit different to mine with my brother, in the fact that I look at my brother, not with his shirt off, but I look at my brother, I'm like, holy shit, this guy's a fucking unit. Jacob almost lives in the gym, and he's so strong and he's so big, and he works so incredibly hard. And I think, not that I know his life's purpose, but I think that he's finding it himself. And I look at him, I'm like, man, when we were younger, I would look up to you and think that you were the weirdest, fucking stupidest person ever. And now I look at you like, he's so dedicated to his grind in being bigger and stronger so he can be that example for Noah, his son. And then on the other hand, to be able to provide for his family, for his wife and his kids. I'm like, shit, like, somewhat it constitutes a good man, right? And he challenges me. I love working out with him because he's so much stronger than me. I'm like, fuck you for being able to lift more than me, but good because you can push me. And then there's some things that he'll speak about. I'm like, oh, shut up, man. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. It's funny because I think our relationships with our brothers are quite similar in that sense. And it's funny because Jay's obviously younger than you. I'd love to hear Jay's perspective on it, on how he looked up to you and values your thoughts and your perspectives on things that
Jay would probably just be like, oh, he's cool.
Yeah,
like Jay
exactly
has
right.
This beautiful
I
way
feel
of
like
being
Jay has
like
no
so.
internal monologue.
He does, but it's just very different to mine.
Yeah.
He has this beautiful, simple way of looking at life and living it, which reminds me to look at life more simply and beautifully
and live it
and make things work out for him. And it's beautiful. And Haley has this beautiful perspective on life that I often lean on when things get a little bit overwhelming for me. But to go back to this idea around a good friend, I think it is healthy to have, particularly for men, male friends that love and support where you are and also push you to be more. And I suppose the more traditional masculine way to do that is like in physical competitions or in tasks around competency. Like if a really good / bad analogy would be like if my car broke down and a tradie pulled over to help me and he's like showing me all the bells and whistles and everything, that tradie is holding up a very big mirror to my own inadequacies and incompetence when it comes to fixing a car. And maybe that's the impetus that I need to change. And if none of my mates ever do that and go, mate, like, you know, they might not say you're not very good at this, but it's just evident in how competent they are at their thing. If I don't ever get that stimulus or feedback, then I don't ever feel the need to change or better myself because I'm just that guy in the room being the alpha male. And that's on my travels. I missed that a lot. Like having, you know, men and people close to me that can hold me to high standards. Because sometimes it's like, it's not that the standards you hold to yourself are exhausting. It's just like, you become a little bit ignorant to your own standards after a while. And it's often in those parts that you're ignorant where there's the most opportunity for your own personal growth. And that doesn't happen unless, you know, like some dude holds up a mirror, figurative mirror, and all of a sudden all your insecurities are triggered. And you go, shit, man, like, okay, firstly, it's like you're bringing up some body image issues. You're bringing up this, you're bringing up that. It's like, firstly, cool, recognize body image issues, maybe go on maybe go down therapist rabbit hole, blah, 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 blah. But also, that is also an impetus to change. It's a spark that galvanizes you into action.
I agree. I'm really lucky in the sense that like sometimes Dad's not really in the picture as much as he probably should be. And that's my own choice. Sometimes I think that I'm really lucky because the men that I think of around me parents at school. Not so much other teachers, but parents of kids at school. And then also I coach a girls' soccer team. Parents of the girls' soccer team who, like the dads of some of the girls in that soccer team. There's one dad in particular, I'm like, you are the figure of like, I want to replicate you as a father.
The paragon of masculinity.
Seriously, like I can't fucking grow taller, but like he's a huge athletic person who loves his kids, that challenges his kids, that puts his foot down with his kids. And I'm like, Craig, when I look at you, I want to be that guy.
So I want to say something, and I want to preface it with like, I love talking about ourselves because that's the only thing that we really know about. We can only talk about our experience. And I also know that some people might hear that and go like, these guys are pretending to be authorities. No, it's not. We're just talking about things that we understand ourselves. I was going to say that I remember listening to another podcast and I had Matthew McConaughey on. And once again, I'll preface it with, I don't like talking about other people because it feels like I'm kind of jumping on their back and sounding smart because of it.
Yeah.
But what you said about this idea around a man, McConaughey says on this podcast that when he was a young boy, he saw his father and he said, I'm going to be a man when I have kids.
Yeah.
It's like a father is the paragon, is the absolute panacea. It's like the mecca of
He says it in his book
man,
as well.
Right?
The first chapter of his book.
So, that really resonates, I think, with what you're saying when you look up to this other guy and you're like, dude, you're the man. You're the man. Yeah. And it's like, to go back to what we were saying before, it's like you're also probably a little bit fearful of him. Like you wouldn't cross him.
I wouldn't even dare to.
You wouldn't dare to. It's like, you have a good relationship, but it's like if you like step on his toes, like that guy's gonna fucking fuck you up because that's a man.
Dude, I absolutely hate when people call me buddy, and he calls me buddy, and he puts his hand on my shoulder.
Yes, sir.
And I'm like, yes, sir. Oh man.
What else? What other qualities do you like in your friends? Because we've talked about someone that can push you. What are the other qualities particularly that you think make a good friend? Or maybe a better question is, what's the type of friend that you want to be?
That is a good question. I think sometimes if I think of a friend, but I also think of like when I'm at school among the other staff, I always hold myself accountable. I'm that person that will always have energy for everyone in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can relate that to my friends, I always want to be the friend who has energy and time for all of his mates and those around him. So I think the friend that I want to be is someone, like I just said, who has energy and time for his mates, as long as it's reciprocated. I want to be the mate who's always welcoming. I've always got time, right? And space for them. And just someone who will call a spade a spade. I don't want to tell you that your biceps look massive, but they really don't. Because if they look massive, I'll be like, fuck, you're looking hench, right? And if they're not, I'd be like, Serge, come on. Like, you value the gym, do some more curls.
When have you failed in that?
A lot. Heaps of times, I reckon. Heaps of times. Because one, sometimes I'm like, relax, you're just another person. Who the fuck are you? And then other times I'm like, they're busy with their own life. Like, I'm the last person they want to speak to. Which, again, I'm in my head, right? I'm like, shut up, Ayman. I've known Serge for almost like 20 years right now. I could message him in the middle of the night and expect a reply the next morning because that's the type of relationship we have. But I think I failed at it a lot. Especially just like checking in on them and deeply checking in. Yeah, I think that's something I can definitely be better at. And especially, we're almost at a perfect moment in our lives for it because if we speak about our relationship, right? You've got Hayley, who's your best mate. And it's like, she's your other half. But I know that there's times where Serge needs to be Serge and not Serge and Hayley. Where sometimes Serge will need his own time, but then sometimes I can fit into that and be like, okay, let's check in with each other, and like a conversation like this, right? Like a bloke to a bloke, and with deep care and deep understanding and respect for each other. I failed at it a lot.
Yeah, well, to touch on one thing you said, it's relationships it's like being good in a relationship is a new skill set, man.
Seriously.
You know, it's like what we're talking about in terms of being a good friend. It's like these are, things that you learn along the way. And I think being a good husband and partner and wife, it's like, that's a journey as well, man. And anyone who's in a relationship has tension.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about tension is that you grow from it. And it's like, my life would actually be so much easier without a wife. But I wouldn't grow.
Yeah.
Like that, and it's sort of like, if easy and comfortable are the two metrics or your two God values, like the things that you hold most important. And, I might be speaking out of school, but it feels to me that maybe that is the case for a few of us, that we hold ease and comfort as our most important things.
Yeah.
If that is the case, then you wouldn't be in a relationship. You'd choose an easy 9 to 5 that pays you well. You'd sacrifice your health because it's hard to go to the gym, and you can, be more productive with your time making money. There's all these sorts of things. And it's like, I don't know if it's that far-fetched to suggest that most of us are oriented towards these values, and money even as a value, and that being the most important thing in the world, and you compromise on all these other things.
But do you think that, maybe this is my own internal thoughts, do you think that people get in relationships because they're also comfortable? And this is definitely my own internal thoughts, because sometimes I'm like, there has definitely been girls that I've dated where I could easily, comfortably just settle down and be like, yep, she's the one, when she's definitely not. And it might be really shallow of me to say this, but like, I could probably tell within like the first 10 minutes of being on a date with a girl if I could spend more time with her. And if I'm comfortable in that first 10 minutes, I often lead towards she's not the one. And if I'm uncomfortable, then I'm like, fuck, I'm so intrigued by how this person lives their life and what challenges they face, and how I can challenge her, how she can challenge me, where I want to pursue it for longer.
I think my belief is that conflict is inevitable in a relationship because you're not the same person.
And if you were, that's some trouble brewing.
But I think it's impossible to be the same person.
Yeah.
You have such unique circumstances, life. So conflict is inevitable. It might just be something as simple as the way that you communicate what you're doing on a given day.
Yeah. The way you fucking wash the dishes could be different.
It's inevitable. And then the second thing is, I think it depends on what you value in your relationship. If you just value sex, then like,
you could get it anywhere.
Yeah, you'd obviously choose a partner that that looks really good.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
But if you value personal growth, and if you value meaning, and mate, if you just value love, fucking oath. Like, that's great, because it's almost like, if you love someone, it's enough to figure out all the other shit.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a great point.
So I think it depends on what you value. Have you ever thought about that? Like, in the context of a relationship, what you value? Because I have my take on it. I have my reasons why I love Hayley, many. But have you ever thought about what you value in the context of a relationship?
I think so. And I think that's why I don't have a relationship. I'm not in a relationship right now. I know that there are like something that a core fucking at the bottom of a relationship, the foundation for me is someone who is open-minded and willing to fight through anything. And when I think of values, I'm like someone that'll challenge me, but also challenge be able to be challenged by me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if I find someone like that, my brain, this is what I struggle with this so much, Serge, and I don't hate myself for it, but I think to myself, I'm like, Ayman, you're going to be forever alone. Just wake up to yourself and sort out how to deal with this. So many people tell me I'm way too picky. And in my head, I'm like, oh yeah, haha. Oh, sorry, externally, I'm like, oh, haha. In my head, I'm like, shut the fuck up. You're not me. Fuck off. Because I know that I am so picky. And maybe it's the reason why I'm single, right? I don't fucking look like Chris Hemsworth. So that obviously plays a part if the physical attraction is what you're thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm a really nice person, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of love and a lot of energy for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so picky because there's so many things that I look for. There's also so many things that I don't look for. And when I go on a date with a girl, it could be the third date, I'm grilling her with questions about about things I don't like. And then I'm trying to see if she's into them because I'm like, oh, fuck, that's not me. Even though we're both two different people, I know that that's their decisions and it really doesn't align.
Yeah.
I think what I'm trying to get at here is I'm so picky and I'm so critical of myself, but also I know what I want.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's perfect, right? And you're never going to meet, I don't know, you probably could, right? I could walk past a girl and be like, that's my wife. It's never happened yet. I don't know. Relationships are funny, right? They're really funny.
Yeah.
Or for me, they are anyway.
I'm not your therapist. I have a question though.
Ask me.
What are the qualities that you're looking for, and are they evident in you?
Hell yeah. A quality I look for is someone who's very open-minded and I'm willing to try lots of things.
Where are you closed-minded?
In what I'm looking for. It's a double-edged sword right here.
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword. I'm shooting myself in the foot. I know I am as well,
That's
right?
the thing, isn't it? Like, I mean, I don't have better language for this, but from what I understand, from what Haley tells me, the universe or God or source or whatever word you want to use, it tends to work off of this idea of what you have within, that's what you will get outside of you. I don't want to use law of attraction, but it's the best way to put it.
It is. It really is a law of attraction.
So it's like, if you want these sorts of qualities in a partner, I think a good place to start would be make sure that those qualities are strong within you. Yeah. And it's so hard, man, because like, to your point, relationships, and when you're having conflict with your partner, it's like, I want my partner to be able to remain level-headed and calm.
Yeah.
And I'm in this argument wanting to punch a wall. It's like, well, of course I'm not getting that because I haven't demonstrated an ability to master that myself. And it's just like, I think it's a productive reframe. If you have the ability to do it in the moment, that's fucking Jedi shit. But if you can later reflect and go, man, like, I really wanted it to go this way. Maybe the reason it didn't was because all of my shit came up and I was asking for something that I don't really know or have control over. And the reason it went south was actually in large part due to me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
100%. Not sometimes. I am deeply grateful for my ex-girlfriend for that because I've learned a lot of lessons and she was really good at it, really good at putting everything aside and just being that fucking Jedi that will solve that problem. Where now I know that I have the ability to put my frustration and anger to the side and have a conversation almost instantly because I saw that it worked. Obviously it didn't work because we're not together anymore in our context, but it worked in that moment. I'm like, that's really good. I want to be more like that. So now I'm more like that. Where I'm not an expert at it, but I definitely work really hard to put my emotions aside and just be in that moment to solve that problem. Perfect example, we'll go back to tennis, right? If I lose 8 points in a row and play 8 stupid shots, You probably heard me the other day. I'm just constantly talking to myself. And something I tell myself all the time now is in a really joking voice, and I do it in a joking voice on purpose, like, Ayman, it's actually not that serious. Like, don't ever think about it, one step at a time. Move your feet, it's not that serious. All the time. I tell myself that at work, in football, when we play tennis, because it's not that serious, right? There's always like something that I can do that'll help me get to where I want to be, even if it's just take a step with my left foot instead of my right, and breaking it down. And when I think of like the mirror, as you're saying, the law of attraction, I'm working on being the person that I want to attract. But in saying that, I also want someone who's a little bit different to me.
Yeah, of course.
So it's funny. I think it's funny. For me, it's like I can be as picky as I want, and it's probably not doing any good, which is annoying because I look at you, right? I look at you and Haley, I'm like, fuck, they've been through their ups and downs, man, but they are a relationship that works because they push each other, they question each other, they fight with each other, but it's all deeply rooted in love. And it's fucking love like no other, man. It's cliche of me saying this, you know what I was going to say. But it's honestly Bonnie and Clyde shit, right? It's that typical old fucking fashioned love that you guys, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, you guys will fight and fucking shoot each other, but know that it's all because you love each other. And I'm not just saying it because you're in the room, but you guys have a relationship where I'm like, man, if I can have that with a woman, I'd be pretty satisfied.
Yeah. Thank you. I think you just stay with each other and like give the other person space and the opportunity to figure out their own shit, man. That's all it is. And sometimes you need to step outside, like I'm going to see a therapist, right, to help with certain things. But for the most part, it's just like just having enough arguments and being patient enough in those arguments for there to be a resolution. I was going to touch on briefly, you talked about in the context of the law of attraction, but it reminded me about what you and I currently do for work at the moment. And it's something that I've become hyper conscious of, especially in teaching. I'm trying to be the change that I want to see. So, for example, if I want the students to be calm and self-regulated, I need to be able to demonstrate that. So if I walk into a classroom and it's a shit show, and it is a lot of the time, I'm not going to yell and I'm not going to lose my own temper.
Yeah.
Because even if I'm telling them to shut up and, control themselves, it's like I'm not doing that. So what I'll generally do is I'll pull up a chair and wait really calmly at the front of the room. And some days it works and other days it doesn't, but this is a practice in regulating my own state. And then another thing is just something little like put your rubbish in the bin. It's like, I remember it was last year, the place I was at, the kids, I don't think they came from backgrounds where there are really strong role models. So they may not have had the education around cleaning up after themselves. And rooms are generally left in a mess. And I'd always tell the kids, tuck in the chairs, throw your stuff in the bin. And I caught myself one day and I just started tucking chairs in and putting rubbish away. And then organically, like I'm still asking them, hey, tuck your chairs and put stuff away. But organically, more and more kids started to respond to that. So I really love teaching and coaching as a medium to work on yourself, because you think traditionally these things are about helping other people, but really you're sharpening your own skills, and your clients and your students are giving you an opportunity to work on yourself. And so, like I said, chaotic classroom, there's an opportunity to learn how to control your emotions and regulate your state. Messy classroom where kids don't leave chairs in and throw rubbish everywhere. It's giving you an opportunity to be a role model, to practice some discipline, to do something that you don't want to do. I don't want to fucking pick up rubbish, man, but I do it because that's the sort of behavior that I want to see modeled in the kids. And I'm not going to criticize what other teachers do, whatever. I don't care. But I just know if I want these sorts of behavioral shift in my kids, I need to first shift that in myself.
Kids are like the best mirrors.
The best
they
mirrors.
Can ever be.
Because they're not polite.
Yeah.
Like I can sit here with you, and because you're a nice guy, you can pretend to be interested, right? But if you're a kid and I'm not interesting, they're fucking tuning out.
Yeah,
man.
straight away.
Straight away.
We've got like 30 seconds to hook them in or done.
100%. So you're right. They're great mirrors. And as much as we might complain about how difficult they can be, you are ultimately grateful for the fact that you've got these mirrors, and they're so honest. They're so honest. You know, they keep you honest.
Brutally honest at times, but yes, they are.
And it's like, do you hate your job, or do you hate the fact that the kids reveal your inadequacies?
Yeah.
The same thing in your relationships. Do you hate your relationship, or do you hate the fact that the relationship you're in reveals your inadequacies?
Yeah, true.
It's an interesting question. Do I hate the fact that you're jacked, or do I hate the fact that you're jacked and that reveals my inadequacies?
Yeah, true, right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, just putting it out there, I love my job.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I'm not saying you as in Ayman. I'm saying that
anyone in general. Yeah.
When we're inclined to criticize.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes chaos is inevitable.
Sometimes you need chaos.
Yeah, it's like the universe just like, fuck you, man, deal with this. And you're like, okay, sweet, I'm doing my best to like be patient and self-regulated, but right now, like, I just got to survive the storm.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Sometimes it's about putting Band-Aids and just putting out spot fires in order to get to the big picture. And I think that if we use a classroom as a example, the kids could be spot fires, right? And then the bigger picture is yourself, because ultimately you are in control of yourself, and you will only ever be in control of yourself, right? And how you act and react to things. And the spot fires could represent every little thing that's going wrong in your life. And how do you deal with it, right?
Do you yell and scream at it?
You can't.
No.
Because then it's almost like you're just yelling and screaming at your own problem. And what are you going to get from that? It's just adding fuel to the fire.
Where in your life do you most want to grow?
Apart from my legs, I think my heart, and it sounds really, without sounding feminine.
Bro, we can be as esoteric and weird as you want here, because I'm in it for the ride, man.
I think my heart, because I want to. I don't know. I have so much time for everyone, right? Like, I love coaching. I love being around people, and I think I'm realizing this more now, and I've realized it for maybe the last year or so. My purpose in this life is to serve. And in this chapter of my life, I'm serving through teaching, and I'm serving through coaching football, and I'm serving through being an uncle. And that's in this chapter, right? It could change, but I love that I'm able to serve, and I'm in a position where I can serve and fulfill my purpose. Well, I think it's my purpose. Actually, it is my purpose. Somewhere where I want to grow is, I don't know if I want to grow in this area, but I want to care less of what other people think.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's funny, right? Sometimes I'm like, if people don't like me, I couldn't give a fuck. And I do live like that. Truly, I live like that. And I'm like, for example, next year I'll be at a new football team. And it's the whole process of starting again and meeting new people. I'm like, oh, what if they don't like me? I don't give a fuck. But I do. Because if they don't like me, ultimately I'm with these 20 men who have a common goal to win and to be better footballers. So that I want them to like me because I'm a leader, right? I could say that I want to grow in that sense where I don't want to care as much what other people think. Sometimes I think I'm good at that, and I truly believe that I don't care what people think.
How do you do that? How do you care less about what other people think?
Really rudely, my inner monologue is, Ayman, the world doesn't revolve around you.
Mm-hmm.
Just fucking, are you kidding me? Like, relax, there's bigger problems. And that's how I deal with it. I could be at the beach and I could look like a chubby boy in my budgie smugglers, and I'm like, oh shit, people are going to judge me because I'm in my budgie smugglers. And that voice would come in, fuck off, Ayman, like, are you kidding me? You're not God's gift, shut up, get over it. And that's how I deal with it. I just remind myself, everyone has their own place, right? And no one really cares what I think or what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way that I do deal with it. Like, no one really cares. For example, with coaching, I'd love to start private coaching again. I do already, but I want it to be bigger. And in order to be bigger, I need to advertise more. And then that thought comes in. Are you kidding me? Like, what gives you the right to private coach kids? I think of the qualifications. I've done my C license. I've done my goalkeeper coaching license. I've got them, right? But then I think of all these other coaches out there. I'm like, oh, they're going to be like, like, that's where I'm stuck.
So what's the insecurity that rises up?
Am I good enough? I think I am. I could speak about like coaching a girls team last year who finished second last, and this year we were undefeated the whole year because I'm a good coach, and they're also very teachable young girls. Insecurities are definitely like, am I good enough? It goes across a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Coaching, am I a good enough teacher? Am I good enough to be in a relationship? Am I good enough to deserve love? Am I good enough son? Am I good enough uncle? That's like the dark cloud above my head. Are you good enough?
So what you're saying is that the area you most want to grow is you want to care less about other people, but the reason that's such a concern for you is because it potentially rises or brings the question, am I good enough up? You're thinking like other people are seeing me and they're maybe thinking like you're not good, which makes you feel that confirms the story.
Right? And it's a funny one because I know that I'm good enough, but sometimes that dark cloud will be like, Amen. For example, right, in the last week of term, I got a permanent job at the school that I teach at. And my principal's reaction was like, congratulations. She was so chuffed for me. And I was like emotionless. I'm like, cool, this is really cool. Like, and not till later, I realized they're really hard to come by. And I'm like, thank you. My inner thoughts are, what the fuck? Like, there's people that have been here longer than you. What makes you think you're good enough to get this spot? So yeah, I know that that's somewhere that I definitely want to improve on in my life and grow, because ultimately I think of it as an insecurity, and then I don't want that to filter down to my kids when I eventually have them, because I know that it's not healthy.
I'm asking the question for me as much as you, but how do you know, and how do you improve your ability to know that you're good enough? Like, this is me thinking out loud, because it's obviously a question that I struggle with as well. Have you found something that works? Like, I think to relate it back to the start of the conversation, it's like, I know I'm good enough in the gym based on what I can do. And I shift the focus away from the externalities of how I look and more the inherent quality to move load. Is there a way that you can do it with your own self-worth?
I think something that helps me is that other thought that I give to myself is like, relax, man, not everyone's watching you. And that brings me a little bit of comfort, which is funny, right? Because that also sounds like it's negative self-talk. But I use it as positive self-talk because I'm like, people aren't, their life purpose isn't to watch you and pinpoint everything that you're doing and be like, oh, that was wrong, why'd you turn left, you should have turned right. That brings me some comfort, where I use that as my advantage. I haven't figured out how to fully like solve it. I don't think I ever will. For like when I have kids, am I going to be a good enough father? Am I going to be able to provide for my kid? That's a fucking scary thought in itself, right? That's a whole nother ball game. Like, my biggest fear is being an inadequate father. And that it actually, like, I get shaky thinking about it. There's a few things in my life that I get shaky thinking about where like it causes rippling anxiety, and that's one of them. Am I going to be a good enough father? It's a scary thought. I know that I'll try to be, and I know that I'll try to not show my insecurities to my kids. I also know I have to work on them because that's probably the healthiest way to do it. Whether it's seeing a therapist or not, I'm not sure.
So you said that a way that you deal with the insecurity of not being good enough is that you remind yourself that people aren't watching you.
Yeah. How about you?
The thing that comes to mind is I try to tune in to my intuition and my gut instincts, because my head can be very unreliable. So intuition and gut instinct, they're the same, but they're very different. So if I have an intuition around reaching out to someone, or that this left turn is the right one to take, I try and honor that, and I respect it as something that is deeper than my insecurity. So on my hierarchy, it's like the insecurity of I'm not good enough, my gut instinct, and then my intuition. Because I think about my intuition as a deeper part of myself, but also as a deeper part of something that connects us all. And then my gut instinct is it's a pull towards what is right for me. And when I'm tapping into and honoring those, I am doing it almost as a spiritual practice, like an act of worship. It's like you might pray 5 times a day. My prayer is honoring my intuition. And if I allow my insecurities to get the better of me, and I don't honor my intuition, then I'm not serving the highest good. So, a practical example relates specifically to the podcast. Who the fuck am I to do this? Who's going to listen? Who's going to want to tune in? But I had the intuition lately that I just feel compelled to do this. I love having conversations. I love connecting with people deeply. I actually have no idea where this is going to go. I have no idea what it's about. I have no idea why I find it worthwhile or interesting. And I sure as hell have a lot of thoughts around I'm not good enough. But I'm just doing my best to honor my intuition as an act of worship, as an act of service to a higher power, to some universal fucking existence that I don't understand, but I do have enough humility to recognize that it's something deeper and beyond my conscious capacity to comprehend. So, sorry to get really esoteric, but that's what I'm doing, man. That's why we're sitting down today and we're having a podcast, and which is why I want to go hard on this, man. I want to fucking do more podcasts with people that I find interesting, because I just know that I have an intuition around these conversations are worth having, and they're things that I like doing.
And the things you're good at, which is funny,
but even
right?
if I'm
it's
not,
funny.
Even if I'm not, like, am I good at it? That is more of a question that relates to my ego. And like with the ego comes insecurity and all those other things.
Sure.
My competence is one thing, but my compulsion, my intuition, my inclination to something, fuck man, that's something deeper. And I'm trying to honor that. And it's coming full circle to me now, but the reason I want to have this chat with you is this is ultimately the way that I think about the world, in large part. I'm trying to honor the deeper, the realer, the more authentic part of myself. And I'm putting myself out there, hoping that enough people want to do the same. And if they don't, fuck, I don't know. But that's my ego's problem to deal with.
Yeah.
All I know is that I'm going to do my best to tell the truth, be honest, be vulnerable, because that's faith, man. Like, you make a prayer, you don't know if it's going to be answered, but you do it because it's an act of faith.
Yeah.
You're like, man, if I lean into the highest good, if I lean into the deeper truth, I sure as hell hope it works out. I don't fucking know. I'm just doing my bit to worship and to serve something that's beyond me.
Yeah.
So that's how I do it, man. I think most days.
Yeah.
And then other days it's like my fucking head wins.
And
I hate myself. And I suffer. But this is why I love you and I love these conversations, because as human beings, we're connecting with each other. And in our connectedness with each other, we're connecting to something deeper. And it's like my head has this great fucking way of making me feel like I'm alone in my not good enoughness. But if I'm honest and I have these conversations, Not to therapize, not to fucking poor me, just as an act of service to what I feel might be a higher calling, then I humbly say that's the best I can do. How does that sit with you? Because that's how I feel, man. And I sense that is perhaps part of your makeup, although you might not articulate it the way that I would.
I think when you say that you pray out of like, well, the faith part for me is like, it sits right with me because I know that there are so many things in my life that I'm like, you need to control this, you need to control that, you need to control this. And I'm like, if I put it to faith, it's out of my hands. I can control how I act, how I react, how I present myself. The rest is up to faith. And when you come to like those inner thoughts, again, it's where sometimes we're walking on eggshells, right? With how we speak to ourselves. And then other times it's like, okay, I'm doing it right. For me, it's like, God's on my side. I'm doing it. He always is. Because if I ask for things, right? If I pray and I ask for things and it doesn't go my way, well, it's right. I can plan, but ultimately what I think I can plan, God plans and his plan's better than mine. He's either giving me something that I want because it's aligned with my path, or he's not because it's redirecting me to be where I want to be.
But it's always aimed at the highest good.
It's always aimed at the highest good. I like to think that. I like to think that a redirection is getting Ayman to the top of the mountain. Because if I followed my path, I'm probably at a peak. And I'm looking down, I'm like, wow, look how far I've come. But little do I know behind me is this like greater mountain where that's the path that God had for me. And
but the only difference is on top of the mountain, you allowed yourself to get in your head, right?
Well, yeah, exactly, right? Exactly.
And then you thought, man, this is the wrong mountain.
Exactly. And look behind me, there's this bigger mountain. It's like, hey, Ayman, look where you're supposed to be. And that's another fear I have, man. It's like, imagine I die and it kills me. Imagine I die and like I believe in heaven and hell. And before I go to hopefully heaven, I see this video of what should have been Ayman's life if I didn't live in my head. That scares me, man.
It scares me too.
It scares the shit out of me because I always think that there's better, right? Not in a superficial way, but there's better in the way how I present myself. Something as small as how I feel, right? It could be my fucking posture for all I know. In how I serve others, there's always better. And the scary thought that I have is like, when that video plays, and most of the things that should have been Ayman Hill's life, are they ticked? Or are they, well, you turned left, you should have turned right, you didn't get there, you didn't leave it to God, you try to take it into your own hands. That's a scary thought.
It scares me too, man.
I get shaky thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But yeah, I know that everything in my control, I'm learning to think about it before I act upon it. Young Ayman would be like, act, do it, think about it 4 months later. But now I'm like, okay, this opportunity has presented itself. I'll write a pros and cons list as weird as that may sound to some. I'll step back from it completely, think about it, weigh them both up, and then act upon it. And then I know that lately I've asked myself what will bring me closer to God as well. Because, like I said before, I plan, but his plan is better than mine. So I'm trying to get on that path with him, right? He's always on my side. whether or not I'm on his side or not. And the closer I can put myself to him, the more aligned the stars will be, so to say, and the greater the success will be. Even if it doesn't look like it's success right now, I know that down the track and in the afterlife, hopefully.
Brother, I love that question. What will bring me closer to God? Because you can change God out for truth. You can change God out to
purpose, your life's purpose.
100%. It's at the end of the day, God is, Jordan Peterson would say, God is representative of the highest value, the highest calling.
The greatest good, right?
What would bring you closer to that? And for me, and I'll ask you this question, doing this with you today and continuing to have these sorts of conversations, being honest and vulnerable and doing my best to tell the truth and not bullshit other people, that's bringing me closer to God. What about you?
I'd like to say serving brings me closer to God, because I know that that's what He's put me on this earth to do, to serve. So if I can do that, I'm in a way giving back to Him and to others.
What about something really, really practical? So you mentioned your
being truthful. I think
your football coaching. Do you think that's going to bring you closer to God?
Well, it's serving, right? So yeah.
Do you get scared, or do you get less scared knowing that actually leaning into building your football coaching business is not selfish? It's actually just
it's an act of worship.
Service.
Yeah, it really is.
I quite like that reframe for me anyway. Helps me to navigate some of those insecurities.
Yeah.
What about you?
It could be. I haven't thought of it like that deeply, to be honest. But it seriously could be, if I think about it, bringing me closer to God, whether you're religious or not, bringing you closer
to your highest calling.
To your highest calling, right? When I coach, I always use the word success. And success doesn't necessarily mean winning. Success means achieving something that you're working towards. And it could be that it's achieving something I'm working towards, coaching, whatever it may be. Yeah, I haven't thought of it like that. I really haven't. That's a good way to reframe it.
Yeah, I like it
to make
too.
it less scary.
I like it too. I was going to ask about success as well. When you reflect on some of your biggest successes, can you go, that was an act of faith, that was an act of worship? And then can you also go, maybe that was an act of entertaining an insecurity or something like that? Can you sort of discern that now? And
Do you know, something I'm really shit at is giving, what's the word I'm looking for? Like not praising myself, but understanding that the success that I've had, what's the word I'm looking for here, Serge? Like congratulating myself. I can't do it. It's so wanky in my head. Like, for example, if I think of the permanency at school, everyone's like, oh my God, congratulations. I'm like, yeah, it's my job. I can't do it because I'm always like, okay, what's next? What's next? That's something I struggle with heaps. Like, what's the word?
Do you believe that you are of God?
What do you mean by that?
Meaning God created you and you're a product of His creation.
I think so.
So if you praise you, are you praising God?
Yeah. Can anyone, well, God made me, right? And He made our vision. Can anyone paint better than the eye can see? Seriously. Like it's perfect, right?
So maybe an act of service, an act of faith is to praise yourself, because if you are perfect in God's eyes.
You make a really good point.
Look, as I said, this is just me thinking out loud and reflecting on myself. You know?
You make a really good point there. It's like post-success thoughts, if I can put it in that way. It's like, I've achieved this. What's next? Not that I'm like trying to put achievements in my pocket and build it up so my resume looks like this ridiculously successful thing. It's like I can't be comfortable after getting one thing, but also I don't know how to congratulate myself. I genuinely don't. It's terrible. For example, right? If I think of like my knee reconstruction, I've done a fucking great job with it. I almost, like I told you before, my knee almost feels robotic. That's how strong it feels. Touch wood. Thanks. It's funny because, right, I'm the one that did all the work. But every time I talk to people about it, I'm like, oh, thank you to Alex Pucciarelli and Robbie Speranza, my physios, and Yannick, who helped me get there. But they were just there telling me what to do. I'm the fucking one doing it. Why can't I congratulate myself and be like, hey, when you put in the work, say thank you to yourself? I can't. I don't know how to. I struggle so much with it. Yeah, I don't know. You make a good point where it's almost like, not that it's God-given talent, because it's God-guided hard work. Because I definitely wasn't talented. I just work really hard to be where I want to be. But I don't know how to congratulate myself for it.
That's maybe like the imposter thing, hey?
It goes back to the imposter syndrome. I reckon a lot of people live with imposter syndrome. They just don't know it. Well, I mean, a lot of people say that people have midlife crises. Is that them having an awakening?
Maybe.
Sometimes I always feel like I'm in the middle of a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
I always ask myself, am I going to teach for the rest of my life? I love the thought of helping people. Love it. It makes me smile from ear to ear. But then I'm like, yeah, but you're restricted in a classroom. You want to be helping. I want to help fucking everybody. That's the person I am. But then imposter syndrome, like, who the fuck you to be able to help everyone? Shut up, sit down. I don't know. I do know. When I say I don't know, it's a lazy way. And that's how I hold myself accountable to that. I do know that I have to just, in simpler terms, honestly, just stop being a little bitch. Because what other people think of me is their own problem. And what I know that I'm capable of is God-guided hard work. I like that. That's going to be a thought above my head. That's the heading. This next chapter of my life is God-guided hard work.
Well, you've always been doing God-guided hard work. You just haven't named it yet.
Exactly. I haven't been aware of it. I've been too ignorant.
Yeah.
And too arrogant and too immature. That's something that I'm grateful of myself. I've definitely matured a lot. A lot of kids at school, Serge, I'm going on a tangent here. A lot of kids at school say, Mr. Hill, you're so childish. I'm like, thank you. Because I'm childish because I'm youthful. I'm youthful because my role as a teacher is to facilitate your learning. And through that facilitation is making it fun, making it adaptable, making it easy for you to connect with me, which makes it easy for you to learn and connect with your learning. That's why I'm youthful. And on top of that, I'm still fucking mature. I'm not an immature little kid who's youthful and childish. And I'm coming to see that I've matured a lot. And you would, like, not that I'm saying this because I'm big-headed, because I'm definitely not. But I think someone who can definitely see me becoming a more mature person is you, because you've seen me in the gutter, like literally physically in the gutter, Culbara Beach. You've seen me in the highest of highs, and you've seen me grow, right? And hopefully you can agree with me when I say I think I'm a mature person. I've got a lot of maturing to do still.
I do.
But that'll come with time and kids.
I see it. I see it, bro. I'm grateful you made time for this. I know it's been... helpful's not the right word. It's been good. It's been good for me. Before I sort of wrap this up, Is there anything that you wanna close with? Anything you want to offer?
When you said we'll speak about things that we struggle with as 29-year-olds, the first thing that came to my mind is I'm not a mummy's boy at all. And you would know this. I'm not in the slightest a mummy's boy. I love my mum because she's a fucking rock in my life. But I'm not a mummy's boy. Something I struggle with is the thought of my mum passing. And I don't know if people speak about that enough. I don't.
As in death in general?
Death in general. Because people would be like, oh, like, you know, you're almost 30, you're a man, you can hold your own. I can hold my own, but people don't understand the value that their parents bring. In my life, it's my mum. Because she's another one who's seen me at the bottom, who I literally walked into her room at 3 o'clock in the morning, crying my fucking nut off, saying, Mum, I need to kill myself. I need to kill myself. Imagine hearing that as a parent. And the thought of her not being here, oh, it scares the shit out of me, man. My fucking palms are so clammy now. That's something I'm struggling to come to terms with, the thought of my mum not being here. I don't know how to deal with it. It's out of my control. Anyway, so if there's something that I can leave this with is, I don't know. Not that I'm in any level of like hierarchy. I just don't want people to be ashamed of valuing their parents.
Fair.
Because parents are a gift, man. And it's taken me a fucking long time to realize that. Even like my dad's not the best dad by any means, but he's given me value. He fucking taught me how to change a tire. That's a lesson I can teach my kid. Taught me how to catch a fish. I love fishing. You know what I mean? Anyway, what about you, Sergi?
Oh, awesome, bro. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, the death thing is, I feel like it's always talked about and it's never talked about. It's always like the backdrop, the unseen backdrop to how you prioritize things and the way that you live. Yeah, for me, it's last thing I just want to say was if this sort of conversation resonated, part of my thinking, the idea behind it, obviously it was just following my gut, but it's also like, man, you know, be the sort of change you want to see. And if what Ayman and I talk about resonates, and if you find yourself in similar battles, reach out, man. Just reach out, not for help, just to connect. Just
have a chat.
Yeah, just let's go get coffee or something like that. You know, we're just a couple of young dudes just doing our best to try and live as well as we can towards our highest purpose. So shoot me an email. I'm not on the socials. And we can link all that in the description. Same for you on Instagram.
Yeah.
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 All right.
Shoot me a message on Instagram. I love chatting. I'm not as good at asking questions as Serge, but I think a 3-way conversation could be on the cards.
Yeah. All right, bro. Love ya.
Thank you, Serge. I love you too, bro.
Peace.